3 years ago, I had a breakthrough in my personal life. Matlab, it changed me completely.
Okay.
I could understand that essentially I'm looking for spirituality.
Okay.
That is what I was. I was looking for something else. There's more to life than this. Nothing is really ever fulfilling. For example, even you learn something. You know what is the problem? You want to learn something new. अरे मैं नहीं कर सकता हूँ, मैं एक्चुअली आई एम नॉट अ टेक्निकल गाय, मेरे को मैथ्स नहीं आएगा, मैं उम्र ज़्यादा हो गया. These are all the dirt in your mind. There was an opportunity going to Middle East for some other, leaving this printing industry, like, some other like most career development or something.
Like most care lights.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't get my visa. But when we started the business, one of those days he said, remember, you are a baby. You first crawl, and then you take baby steps, and then you walk, and then you run, and then you fly. You don't try to take off from day one.
So what drives you today? Money or something else?
Definitely money, wealth, material.
Before moving ahead, would like to bring your attention on a wonderful new product, a reusable notebook from NARA. It's a 100% tree-free, waterproof and tear-proof notebook which can be used endlessly for years together. I think it's a great step towards a sustainable future and a new step in note-taking. I have been personally using this notebook and have been able to save 6 to 8 pages every day. If you are interested in knowing more about this product, the link for the product is in the description below. Hi Vaidi, welcome to Ink Stories.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to have you. I'm glad that we met at Print Summit and you were willing to do this at a short notice, though I have been in touch with you since last Print Summit. And I have to give you the impression that I had when I met you the first time and why I was so insistent कि आपने ये podcast करना चाहिए. You know, the first impression that me and my team had when having met you was someone who's so simple, so humble, with so much of humility. The way you speak, you're so soft. It's just wow. You know, I felt that ये बंदे में कुछ है. I have to bring his story out. I don't know how much of justice can I do. So thanks for coming. Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate.
Thanks for the opportunity. And see, life is something we can share. We can always.
Yeah, it's all about sharing. It's all about, we've done 44 episodes and it's been a phenomenal journey about knowing so many different people, so many different journeys. So we would like to know the story of Vaidi and Suba. Are you all set?
Yes, of course. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity also.
Great. So Vaidi, Suba Solutions. What is Suba Solutions? What business are you into? People who don't know about Suba Solutions, just give us a little brief about Suba.
See, Suba Solutions was started with the purpose of giving business solutions in the print finishing area. Post-press.
Okay.
We were focused on, way back in 2003 when we started the organization, there are a lot of pre-press guys and press guys. People are selling printing machines, new ones or the used ones, or they were selling the pre-press. The CTPs was just beginning to make their way in. CTF was there, computer to film. And we were selling plate making machines and all that. And I was working for ProTech, by the way.
Okay.
So I found in the market, there was a big lacuna for print finishing.
Okay.
And that's the genesis of Suba Solutions.
So you are saying that, which year are you talking about?
2003.
2003. So you are saying at that point in time, there were not many print finishing equipments in India?
No. No company was focused on print finishing to my knowledge.
Okay.
So when we decided to start a company,
okay.
We said we are going to focus only on print finishing.
Lovely.
Print finishing for commercial presses, for bindery, when books,
correct,
and then packaging.
Correct.
All three.
So you identified an opportunity which was probably unexplored huge at this stage. Now I think it's a pretty large market, but at that point in time,
even it was always a large market.
Achha.
Yeah, but I would say, I think in the sheet fed industry, we were the pioneers in bringing print finishing to the focus.
Lovely.
That is how it was formed.
Lovely. On that note, we would want to know, where did you start from? What is your journey? Where were you born? Your
background is brought up in Chennai, but though my ancestry is in Kerala, Kerala, Palakkad.
Nice.
And studied in Gindi Engineering College, printing engineer. 91 pass out. There was a fifth batch of print engineers in India.
Lovely. Fifth batch.
Very print engineers. And then started my career with Technova.
Okay.
Then In Technova itself, I was taking care of the Protect products, plate making.
They had some collaboration there.
They were kind of, we wanted to promote Protect products in Technova.
Okay.
And we were taken inside the equipment division.
Okay.
And so I started installation. I started as a service engineer first, and then they put me into sales. And then there was a time when I left Technova and then joined Protect. There was a gap in between actually.
Okay.
There was an opportunity going to Middle East for some other, leaving this printing industry, like most career development or something
like most care lights.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't get my visa. It was to Oman. I didn't get my visa, and Bala sir of Protect called me and said, "Why do you come?" I used to go part-time to Protect at that time.
How life changes.
Yeah, life changes, yes. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, journey has been amazing.
So how many years with Protect?
Protect is about 9 years, 1.5 years or 2 years with Technova.
Okay.
1991 to 93 in Technova.
Okay.
And 94, March 1st to July 31st, 2003 in Protect.
Okay, and then you started Suba.
Yes, true. Suba was started 2003 January.
2003.
January. Balaji, my co-director, my colleague in Protect, and I started.
Lovely.
We had conceived this idea. It was brewing within us for about a year. Then Balaji left first. And then within 3-4 months, I submitted my papers. I told my plan to my bosses in Protect.
Nice.
Yes, that's
so
wonderful.
you're a typical middle class family. I don't think you would also have many people in your family from a business background. So how was those initial days of jumping into business? Was it easy?
Yeah, no.
How did you take that decision?
It was easy in the sense we were having the core competence. We didn't do anything new.
Yes.
For example, I left this job and I started something else. No, it was literally a continuation of my job.
Correct.
I'm going to meet the same customers.
Correct.
Balaji is going to give service. That's how we started.
Correct.
I could sell, he could service. That's how we started. So therefore,
the inherent strength was there.
Yeah, the confidence was there, very
Yes.
much there, because we think we could put this across to the customer, the idea of finishing, and people were wanting a solution like that. Since I was traveling extensively, I used to have very good conversations with customers. I could understand there's a very clear need in the market, demand in the market. So you are very confident that we could do that. And that's one point. Second, there was no investment because we take advances from the customers.
Okay.
And then you roll over that money to build the machine and then collect the balance payment, deliver the machine. So there was no per se big risk.
Capital investment.
There was no capital getting it done.
The investment was your time, energy, and the risk that you were taking.
I would say the life. See, once you start a company, I mean, how do you say? I mean, you don't fail and then go back to some employment again, right?
Correct.
So you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that. That's the last thing you want to do.
Correct. So it's a point of like you are pledging your career.
Correct.
Let me do this.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no looking back. You are committed in the companies we worked. We were very committed.
Correct.
We owned it up.
Correct. And most people are.
Yeah. So when you own it up, when you're able to own it up in an employment, you could as well own it up in your own.
Lovely. Good thought. I mean, I like that transition, what you're trying to talk about, that you were doing what you were doing with the utmost of sincerity. Yes. And then you felt at some point in time, why don't I do it for myself?
There was an opportunity there, and let's lay our own road to success.
And
I was in pre-press and press. We were selling, and Protect was just making the initial steps into post-press. Not that they were not at all into post-press. I can't say that.
Correct.
They were making the cutting machines that time.
Okay.
They also were building some UV conveyors, So then we started. We were like everything because we were only agents. We started, of course, some small size UV manufacturing. We started with.
Okay.
We had a small factory.
Okay. You still have manufacturing?
Yeah, we have manufacturing.
What all kind of products do you manufacture?
We manufacture 2 product lines. One is the UV systems for offset.
Okay.
Within the offset machines, we have Interdeck and end of the press UV. We have a factory in Chennai for that.
Okay.
And that is the product which we are dependent on. It is a kit that goes into a printing machine.
Okay.
So we are dependent on something else. Whereas we also have the standalone machine that's a offline blanking machine, automatic blanking machine.
Okay.
We're doing extremely well in that.
The one that you had displayed at PAMEX last year, and you were talking about very proudly. I remember that much.
Because we're changing the culture of
you
the industry.
You were mentioning that, yes.
We're changing the culture. Todna, haath mein todna.
Correct.
That's not a hygienic way of doing things.
Correct.
And also, you print on world class presses, you die cut on good machines,
Correct.
and then you haath mein todna hai to matlab kya hai uska?
Correct.
So you bring in an automation that can bring in that hygiene. That's the last process left.
Lovely.
Which is done manually in the packaging.
And that's completely indigenized. It's manufactured.
It is made 100%
Lovely.
in our Coimbatore factory.
Lovely. How many factories you have? 2 factories.
2 factories. One in Coimbatore and one in Chennai.
Very good, great. So usually we ask this question: what's the leadership style that people have? And I strongly feel the sense that I get of having met you a couple of times is you are very jovial, very friendly. You work with people as if you are one of them and not like a boss. So tell us more about this style of leadership that you've got. You're so easy to talk to and you make people so comfortable.
Correct. See, there's no need for somebody to fear you, essentially. You have to lead by example. Essentially, we try to do our job best, and that should command respect. Right? So, that's my belief. So, you don't demand respect or anything. You just have to command that by the way your work ethic,
by
your
you
action,
behave, action.
the way you behave, way you conduct yourself, your value systems, what you preach, you practice, and live by it. Okay. Automatically, few people are there to. People would say, okay, man, worth following or worth being with. That's it. No, what else is leadership?
So do you get upset? You get angry?
Yeah. See, that's funny.
It doesn't look like it. You seem to be always so smiling.
No, smile is there, and but I take it as it comes, basically. Because we've got flaws, right? Everybody has got flaws. So mistakes to hoga hi life mein. So what's the point in getting upset about it?
Correct.
So because I know my own limitations. Look at because if I say something bad about you or criticize you, first I look at myself. So then you are able to measure it very well, right? So you have this limitation. You are also got so many limitations. So you more understanding, more forgiving. That
empathetic.
Empathetic.
Correct.
And okay, ठीक है ना, ठीक है तो कितना गलती कर सकता है?
Right.
I have made blunders in my life, blunders after blunders. So you are able to put up. So you constantly introspect, and that gives you a different approach to life.
I understand.
And there's nothing called leadership. Oh, this is the kind of leader I want to be. No, nothing. You do your job well. You become a leader. People will. You will do some role, play some leadership role, right? Everybody has.
I would call that to be a people's leader. You lead by example and you make them feel comfortable.
It is so weird, yes.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So I mean, you've had a journey of like 20 plus years now.
Career is 32 years now.
In terms of running a business and 30
years. Say 50 to 53 years. Journey of that.
30 years. So in terms of, I was talking about running Suba and running a business and starting after being an employee. And so was it all easy for you? Did you face challenges? What was the kind of experience in terms of your journey?
I would say there was no, I would say there was, looking back at it, it was very normal. It was everyday work.
Nothing which is
there was nothing that was
way too high or way too low.
Yeah, and your capability to deal with it. See, the beauty of thing is one of the reasons why I finally ventured into business was this. What all can I do as an individual? What is my capability? Mm-hmm. How do I know it?
Correct.
There was a 4-square cricket gear karke, there was a advertisement.
Yes.
You don't really know what you can be.
Yeah.
What you can become or something. Well, I really liked it because when I was in my school days or college days.
Surrogate advertisement for the cigarettes.
Whatever. It was a beauty. You don't know what you can really become. So that is something, can I run by my own business? I thought I'm definitely not.
You live with that philosophy.
Yeah, so we keep working on ourselves. Essentially, for me, it's a journey that I'm working on myself through.
So, what drives you today? Money or something else?
Definitely, money, wealth, material is not my driving force. That's for sure. There's no doubt in my mind about that. It has never been an attraction for me.
Money doesn't attract.
I mean, people talk about fancy cars. बिल्कुल interest ही नहीं है. I could say that in any of these things. Achha. Money, how much? I've never been to a bank in my life.
Okay.
Yeah. Before marriage, it was my mother handling my finances, and my father used to really yell at me. You don't know a damn. You're working in this company. Do you know how much of sick leave you have? How much of EL you have? I didn't know anything. But it's part of life. I mean, but the point is, I think my philosophy has been on working on myself. That's my philosophy, personal philosophy. How better can I get? How? What is the better version of myself?
I want to be a better human being each day?
Every moment. It's a learning, it's a fascinating journey, I would say. You got what I call as a breakthrough. 3 years ago, I had a breakthrough in my personal life. Matlab, it changed me completely.
Okay.
I could understand that essentially I'm looking for spirituality.
Okay.
Okay, that is what I was. I was looking for something else. There's more to life than this. Nothing is really ever fulfilling. And finally, I listened to my Guru Maharaj on the YouTube only, of course.
Okay.
And it was so phenomenal. It was love at first sight, or first, speech. His lecture in IIT Kanpur, Defining God by Taittiriya Upanishad. I listened to him, Swami Sarvapriyananda ji, and it was fascinating. And since then, I'm just into that.
That is your calling.
That is my calling. Yeah. I would say, if you ask my goal of life, it is Krishna Darshan or God realization.
Lovely. You are a man who is running a business. Yeah. Business is all about profits. And you are talking about your purpose in life is spirituality, and that is what is your inner calling.
Yes.
And how would you kind of put both of these together and be able to explain this? Because we had an earlier conversation, I know what you mean, but if you can help explain this for our audience.
It's very simple. Where was Bhagavad Gita taught?
Mahabharat, battlefield.
Kurukshetra. And here is, in the second chapter, Bhagavan teaches Arjun. The whole spiritual essence has been taught in chapter 2. And Arjun says, oh great, now everything is done, I'll go to Himalayas, meditate. And Bhagavan makes him fight the battle of life. And it's a very, you see the dilemma for a person like great warrior like Arjun. He has to kill his own Pitama. He has to kill Guru. Can you imagine? But then he gives the philosophy of life. So whatever you do, you can be spiritual. In fact, there is nothing called secular life. If you really understand it, the whole life is spiritual.
Right.
You are a spiritual being in a human form.
Right.
And extending the philosophy, this is all Swami Vivekananda. If you extend the philosophy, it is like divinize your relationship with human beings and humanize your relationship with God. Treat him as your friend, treat him as your father, mother, Jobi, your child, and divinize your relationship with people. You look up to them, you respect them really deep from inside like God.
Lovely.
So that is that's a path breaking. You can do whatever you want.
Lovely. So to kind of summarize what you're saying.
So in business, that doesn't mean I shouldn't be doing this. ऐसा नहीं है. I shouldn't. अभी हो गया, खत्म हो गया. You have to wind up everything and go. No, it's not that. You have to go to Himalayas. No, you have to renounce everything and go. No, there are different methods of doing it. In fact, most of the Ramachandra Prabhu, Ram Bhumika, Bhagwan was a warrior.
Right.
He was a prince. He was the king of Ayodhya.
Right.
And you talk about Janaka Maharaj, Sita's father, Sita Mata's father, Janaka Maharaj is a Brahmagyani. They are all Brahmagyanis. And Arjun was a warrior. He was taught.
Correct.
And you take Lord Krishna. He was a warrior.
Correct.
Yadav Kul mein aaya tha, and he was throughout the thing he was a king.
Correct.
But they were all Brahmagyanis. They knew the world. They knew the reality, ultimate reality. So you can do anything you want and be in that.
Correct.
It's just being aware of yourself. And if you go deeper, it's a fabulous, it's an adventure.
I can see that spark in your face when you say that.
It's
Lovely. So, there are these so many youngsters who are listening to your podcast now.
Yes.
And what would be the message that you would want to give on this lines of amalgamating spirituality and business, or spirituality and profits? What is your thoughts about it? Or message to the...
2 points. Just 2 points. Work on yourself. All that we see, all the problems we see is within us. You work on yourself, the world in front of us will change. This is point number 1. Point number 2, what do you mean by work on yourself? Keep cleaning the mind. Today my mission of life is clean mind. कितना शुद्ध कर सकते हो? भगवान अपने आप अंदर आ जाएगा. Clean your mind of all the clutter, gutter. Clean it. No, the 10 commandments, we would say in Christianity.
Correct.
Jesus Christ ka.
Correct.
10 commandments. You remove all the, I've not read Bible or something deeply, but Guru Maharaj used to talk about it, so I could recollect. I think God enters the pure heart and love thy neighbor.
Right.
What do you mean is love everybody else
Love everybody
also.
else,
Just,
yes,
you know, that's the teaching of the God. I mean, you got 10 commandments.
Correct.
You should not have kama, krodha, lobha, moga. Different things, religions teach you the same thing, literally,
Correct.
if you look at it. So, it's basically that. Clean your mind. The
Correct.
essence of the whole activity is cleaning the mind. Once you clean the mind, you can see everything very differently.
Correct.
That's the 2 points.
Lovely.
Work on yourself and clean the mind.
Lovely.
What do you mean by work on yourself? Cleaning the mind.
Clean the mind.
Yes. For example, even you learn something. You know what is the problem? You want to learn something new. अरे मैं नहीं कर सकता हूँ, मैं एक्चुअली आई एम नॉट अ टेक्निकल गाय, मेरे को मैथ्स नहीं आएगा, मैं उम्र ज्यादा हो गया. These are all the dirt in your mind. There is a beautiful
self-limiting beliefs.
Yes, there is a beautiful video by Rob Dial.
Okay.
That is the corporate philosophy movie of Suba Solutions.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it.
It's about you beautifully have a glass beaker, glass vessel, so to say, pure water, clean water in it. This is how you're born. Clean slate, no issues. You're clean, pure, and all. Then the life happens. He says in the video, it's a 2.5 minute video. Life happens. You're said what to do in your life. You're said kachada. You keep pouring the kachada inside. You're said you're not enough. You compare yourself with others. You come under competitive pressure. You think you're not as smart. I mean, he will do that. And it's completely, by the age of, say, let's say, depending on different people, 15, 20, it's all full of dirt inside. And nothing gets into it.
Correct.
And so he says, people say positive thinking will work. So he takes a beaker of this one, fresh water, and pours into it. But it doesn't affect it. Correct?
It's still the same.
Still the same. And most people give up. But there are some people who think more positive thinking will work. They'll take a bigger bucket of fresh water and try to pour into it. Still there will be dust. But how positive thinking will have to work is, he takes a full force jet of water and continuously keeps putting in the beaker. So you keep cleaning the mind every moment of it. Every moment. It's not, positive thinking is not something you do sometime. Positive thinking is something that you do all the time.
Continuous process.
Every moment of it. You live that. I think that's the essence of, I think for me, that's the philosophy.
Lovely.
You know, it cleans up. It changes in front of you. The world changes in front of you. There's no doubt about it.
Lovely.
For me, yes.
Lovely.
Every day, everybody you see, you don't see their limitations. You see what I can learn from them.
Lovely.
You see the beauty of them, the divinity in them. It changes. Absolutely fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
Journey is
very well said. I mean,
yes.
I could so well connect with you. You know, we kind of put so much of pressure on ourselves.
Yes.
And these thoughts probably can make us more settling and more be at peace with ourselves.
Yes.
I'm sure, and this would be helpful for all the people, not only
Hopefully,
of specific age groups.
Yes. In fact, that's my mission of life, I'm telling you, because what you know, you try to share it with others so that you make their life better.
Yes, you
End
should.
of the day, that's the whole.
Yeah. And that's the whole idea of having ink stories as well, that people can come and share their lovely stories, and if it happens within our industry, it is so much more relatable.
Correct.
You know, when it happens in some other tech industry, फिर नहीं, वो अपने आप पे नहीं हो सकता. When it happens with someone amongst our community, that's so much more that you can relate with. That's the whole idea. A little more moving towards our industry. You know, how do you consider the print industry? What has been the change in the last 20 years?
See, like every other industry, we've been progressing very well as a industry. People are seeing a good future in the current economic situation. Under great leadership, the whole country is transforming.
Correct.
And therefore, we are able to find a tremendous positivity in the industry and progress. And I think we are becoming considered destination for getting the materials done, getting the products manufactured.
Correct.
So it's a very good destination. So I think that's the platform we are in today.
And you're hopeful that things are going to get better in the future.
It's going to get better, there's no doubt. It's going to be a revolution. I would say we are in the midst of a revolution for the last 10 years. I'm seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I can't agree more. There's so much of change happening and so much of positive change happening.
Yes.
And I'm so much more bullish about the Indian story.
Yes, there's no doubt.
And the printing story in India, which we all are a part of.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Printing and packaging has been amazing. Yeah.
So I'll just take two more questions, which we generally ask all our guests, and in the interest of time, and you've got a busy day ahead, so I don't want to hold you. One is, I met you and I was awed by your demeanor, and that's why I wanted to have you as a guest. Do you have some names of people who have kind of, you felt that these people have got very interesting stories? They could be from the remotest parts of India, and they might be doing something in the print packaging industry. Ideally, if you have some names you can share with us, we could invite them as guests on our show.
Yeah, I would say, like, for example, I don't know how you would reach them, but I got Menaka Cards being one of them.
Okay.
Menaka Cards in Chennai. It's Chennai. It used to be Chennai based.
Okay.
And that gentleman was amazing. Mr. Shankarlingam was his name. Is his name, and he used to be amazing. He was one of those people who kind of I saw. What I'm fascinated about is, it's not the money. It's how well they do the business. It's not the size. So he's one of those people, value systems, high value systems. So you get a natural...
You can connect with them. And you feel that this business has some meaning. Scale is important. The scale is not that important.
At all. For me, it doesn't really matter. The size of the business doesn't matter at all for me. How well you do it, and what kind of example are you setting for the youngsters? And he was one of those people
who has kind of made an impression on you.
Made an impression.
Okay. I would take his contact details.
I'm just saying one. I just want to sell one name. I could remember.
If you have more names, please do let us know. You can send me later.
So many people from different walks of life who have come into the business. There is a doctor I know in Bangalore who did the business with such passion. So, it's you meet everybody, and the whole joy of being in this business, going out and meeting people is that. Meeting so many different people and wonderful stories all through. It's 32 years, right? So it's a good,
it'll be an encyclopedia, if I may say that word, in terms of knowledge.
But it's very good feel you get. The vibes, you learn so many from so many people.
I'm sure.
Even Ramesh sir of Parsons, when we had a talk, 3 years before, he said, Vaidi, the culture is most important.
Correct.
The organization culture.
Correct.
See, these are lessons. Pragati Narendra sir.
Yes.
So many things he has told us, he has taught us. When we started the business, one of those days he said, remember, you are a baby. You first crawl, and then you take baby steps, and then you walk, and then you run, and then you fly. You don't try to take off from day one. See, these are very important things as youngsters getting into the business. When we started business, I was 33 when I started the business. So very young, right? And I'm from a middle class family. We don't have any business person in my family.
Correct.
Or we are all from middle class families. Balaji, me, and then Senthil now. We're all from middle class families, so humble backgrounds. But these are the people who motivated us, inspired us.
Lovely.
Yeah. So
lovely. Please do share the contacts. We'd love to connect with them. And the last question is more as a feedback for us to know you done this podcast with us now. Yeah. How do you find it, and what's your impression about a podcast for the printing industry?
I think Smriti Prakash, no?
Smita Prakash.
Smita Prakash, yes. She's a great podcaster. And I think from there, you understand the value of a podcast.
Yeah.
And listening. The whole Veda, for example, in Hindu religion, we talk Vedas are the foundation of knowledge. Now that is called Shruti, and that is heard. It is passed on by listening, hearing. Podcast is where you don't see anybody. It is largely listening to it.
Correct.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
And listening is an amazing way to learn different experiences. So I think podcast has got special power. I would say that.
I totally agree.
Yeah, completely.
I totally agree. Any advice for us?
Great job that you're doing. No, keep doing it. You will learn from people. You will refine it as you go along. You can have certain, what do you call? You will have different categories of podcasts you can have.
Correct.
Right. For example, somebody who's going to be extremely technical in a particular area.
Correct.
Or somebody who's going to be like this was a very general conversation we had. It's more philosophical conversation rather than anything else. But you can have a technical podcast. You can categorize it to different audiences. You do all that yourself.
You can experiment a lot.
Yes.
The sky's the limit.
Correct. Absolutely. Lovely. And that is the beauty of life, right?
Yeah. Totally. Experimenting and reinventing yourself.
Absolutely.
On that note, I again want to appreciate and thank you for coming and doing this for us.
Thank you very much, Sujit. This is also an opportunity where I could share what I knew with the
absolutely.
audience.
Yes.
It's a really great opportunity.
Your smile is infectious, and so is your energy. More power to you and your team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, sir.